Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Couple breaking stories happening this noon. Let's get to the first, which is impacting communities in Macomb County and the city of Rochester, as well as the village of New Haven. After days of no water and low pressure following that massive water main break, the boil water advisory is over. We want to get right out to Rod Maloney, who's been keeping track of this situation. And Rod, this all changing in the last half hour or so.
Yeah, they just took this boil water advisory down, and so we've been having people. We're here at Chesterfield Fire Department number 3 in Chesterfield at 23 Mile Road, where they have been giving out water over the last couple of days. But as you can see over my shoulder here, they're no longer giving out water. One, because they ran out of water, but now they don't need to give any away. And we've been having people drive up here over the last 20 minutes looking for water. In fact, here's somebody now coming in, not knowing that the boil water advisory has been taken down. And so it's one of those things where they decided this morning, after the testing that they had done over the past 2 days, they incubate the test samples, and once that is done and they are decided that they're clear, they make the announcement that everything is fine and can go back to normal. But they did put out something rather interesting, that there are procedures for both businesses and residences as it pertains to post-boil water advisories. And one of the things that they say is that you should take what they call the aerator, that little round thing at the bottom of your faucet that you can unscrew. They say take that off. They want you to run the water, cold water, for about 5 minutes, clean out that aerator, and then put it back in. They say that there could be some residual effects from any water that might have been bad during the boil water advisory. There are also some other instructions about hot water heaters and the like. Well, put that up on clickondetroit.com. But we're here in Chesterfield Township because they're thinking about, okay, what happens next? Because they've had about 3 of these over the last few years, and they're trying to figure out what to do. So we're going to be talking to the township manager about future plans and how to protect the local residents in case of another boil water advisory, and also a big water main break like we had again this year. So we'll have that later on Local 4 News at 5 and 6. Reporting from Chesterfield Township, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Yeah, glad that next test came back clear. All right, Rod, we'll see you a little bit later. Today, preparations are being made for former President Donald Trump's next arraignment. The former president faces 4 felony charges accusing him of trying to overturn the 2020 election. Mr. Trump now claims the case that this certain case is all about 2024 politics. Garrett Hake covering the Trump campaign for us and following this story.
Donald Trump set to face a federal judge today and the 4 new felony counts filed against him for his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The former president thanking his supporters for standing by him in the face of what he's slamming as an unprecedented indictment for what prosecutors describe as a criminal scheme to hang on to power after the last election. Special counsel Jack Smith says he wants to see a trial as soon as possible. But with the rapidly approaching election, Mr. Trump's attorneys indicating their defense will rely on the First Amendment.
It's the first time that a sitting president is attacking a political opponent on First Amendment grounds and basically making it criminal to state your position and to engage in political advocacy.
I've got to give you a little time out on that one, because of
we've
course,
never seen that before.
Well, the indictment specifically says that the president has a First Amendment right to speech.
Yes.
He even has a First Amendment right to lie. It says it right here.
Absolutely.
This indictment is criminalizing conduct, not speech.
No, it's criminalizing speech for this reason. What the president saw in the 2020 election was all these irregularities going on. He had every right to comment on that.
Overnight, Mr. Trump's former Attorney General, Bill Barr, who has been critical of the former president since leaving office, saying the First Amendment will not protect the former president, but adding that he believes Mr. Trump knew he lost the election.
At first I wasn't sure, but I have come to believe that he knew well that he had lost the election.
Central to the plot outlined by prosecutors was an alleged effort by Mr. Trump and his co-conspirators, including attorneys Rudy Giuliani and John Eastman, to pressure Vice President Mike Pence to set aside the lawful vote count on January 6th, which Pence repeatedly refused to do.
I dismissed it out of hand, but sadly, the president was surrounded by a group of crackpot lawyers that kept telling him what his itching ears wanted to hear.
Pence now challenging his former boss for the 2024 GOP nomination. Mr. Trump firing back on social media, saying he feels badly for Pence, suggesting his campaign has struggled because, quote, he didn't fight against election fraud. Other rivals largely standing by the GOP frontrunner, including Florida's Ron DeSantis, who says Mr. Trump can't get a fair trial in overwhelmingly Democratic Washington, D.C.
A D.C. jury would indict a ham sandwich and convict a ham sandwich if it was a Republican ham sandwich.
That was Garrett Hake reporting there. Again, we'll have more coverage on this as it develops starting at 4 o'clock, both here on Local 4, on Local 4 Plus, and on clickondetroit.com. A new development overnight in the controversy surrounding a popular principal in Dearborn Heights. Aaron Millette will be back permanently at the beginning of the coming school year. He was suspended last school year and reinstated near the end as principal for Annapolis High School. But that was only a temporary reinstatement.
The issue has been handled. Please know that both Mr. Millette and district leadership will move forward in the best interest of the students and staff of the high school, as well as the entire school district. He will resume his duties on his regular starting date of August 10th.
It's still unclear what Millette was suspended for, but he has told us he'll speak about it as soon as he is allowed to. The Coast Guard and other agencies working to contain up to 45,000 gallons of diesel that was spilled into Lake Michigan. It's about a mile and a half off the coast of Manistee, where the Manistee River enters Lake Michigan. A freighter began to leak oil about 24 hours ago now. Still unclear what caused it. There's no known impact on the beaches at this time, but if you happen to be visiting that area and see something like that on the beaches, you're being asked to report any sign of possible diesel reaching the shore, and you can do that by calling the number 231-723-6241. Gas prices are up 30 cents this week. The average price now $3.68 a gallon, which is 15 cents higher than last month, but still lower than this time last year. For you big spenders out there, mid-grade is sitting at $4.12 and premium at $4.60 right now. Cleanup work is starting on 3 duplexes in a Detroit neighborhood. The homes are in the Osborne neighborhood and are being transformed and sold below the market rate to create more affordable housing. Once these properties are sold, owners will be able to live in one unit and rent out the other. This is to promote wealth building throughout the neighborhood. Mortgage rates are rising following Fitch's historic downgrade of U.S. debt. Yesterday, the yield on 10-year treasuries climbed as high as it had been since November, and the fixed rate for a 30-year mortgage usually follows the yield on 10-year treasury notes. The Economist says without the downgrade, mortgage rates would have moved lower toward the end of the year as inflation continues to cool. Nice transition to the forecast where things are not cooling, but heating up a little bit. Let's bring in Ashley Barresi, who's watching it all.
Yeah, Jason, today's shaping up to be the warmest day of the work week, though tomorrow will be not too far behind it. Already at 82 degrees in Mount Clemens at this lunch hour. We have a south-southwesterly breeze ushering in the warmer air at about 10 miles per hour. Dew point hovering around 60, so it's a little muggy out there, not oppressively humid, but you'll notice it by a touch. 83 in the city, 80 over at Metro Airport, 80 down into Monroe. Even Port Huron reporting 81 at this hour, 80 off in Howell, 81 in Lapeer. So we have a lot of low 80s across the board, which puts us a few degrees warmer than where we were this time yesterday. Part of that warming trend, clouds and radar forecast showing that we cleared out some of that cloud cover, which was expected throughout the morning and into the early part of the afternoon. Clouds will begin to build a little bit later as we're dry for now, but with an approaching front, we will end up seeing a few storms kind of trigger off up to our north later this evening. So there's a marginal risk by the Storm Prediction Center, level 1 for Port Huron, off towards Lapeer, Sandusky, even into Saginaw. So this clips the thumb, where wind gusts and hail will be the primary threats for today. Very low end for flooding or any kind of tornadic activity, but still we could see a downpour or two. Otherwise, the rest of us staying hot and a little more humid with those chance of storms to the north. So today's afternoon high 87 degrees. So we're getting awfully close to 90, and then just that smidge of a chance of a shower passing by during the overnight as well. We'll take you through the rest of your forecast in just a few minutes, but if you're going to be out and about later this evening, you might want to have radar in the palm of your hand. And if there was to be any kind of warnings triggered, it'll be sent right to your phone with our Forewarned Weather app.